authority. So I'm coming on here to talk about what happened with my mom, how she died. So I've been a caregiver for a long time for my mother who had a stroke 4 years ago. She was doing really, really well. And she was able to heal enough to move into her own place, apartment that came right next door, available, so it was so easy for me to take her food, to take her to the doctors, take her all the, like the general care of a person as an elderly. But she was healthy enough to live on her own, so like 4 weeks ago, she fell and she hit her hip. So that happened like really early in the late night hours. And by 6 o'clock in the morning, she was at the hospital getting prepped for surgery to have a new hip replacement. And everything went well. She goes to the rehab a week after leaving the hospital. While she's in rehab, she's calling me every single day, morning. And of course, I was there visiting her, but they weren't changing her. They were leaving her in feces. She had an open wound from the hip, so I had to change her constantly. I was coming up there at night before the place closed, making sure she had a bath and that she was changed. And then 4 days of being there, they decided to get her out of the bed and they give her a bath, like a shower, where she develops a staph infection. And she gets sent back to the hospital. So after she gets sent back to the hospital, they do another surgery to clean out all of the infections she got from the rehab. And the medicine they gave her for the infection killed her. It sent her kidneys into shock. And they immediately put her on dialysis. She was sent to the ICU. And she died Thursday night. And I am right now completely devastated. I had a lot of questions for the Lord because she was a saved woman. She loved the Lord, but she was older. And a lot for the doctors, like, what happens when these doctors give you something that they know is too strong and it sends your body into shock? Who is the blame here? Is it the rehab that refused to change her, that got her sent back? Hello? And I don't want to be like pressing the blame game. I don't know if anyone ever had a loss before of someone so close like their mother. But I've never had a loss like this. I've never had anyone to pass away so close to me. Not only she's my mom, but also I cared for her every single day for 4 years straight. So this is the first day, like really, after a weekend of trying to prep her for like getting her over to the funeral home. But like, this is the real first day of me sitting down thinking, what's next? Because I moved into this big, huge, large house to move her in. And how am I supposed to afford it? Because she gets Social Security. So I added her Social Security in with my own income. and then my husband works. So it's like all of that is gone. And I don't even play about no government funds. So we called immediately and had those things canceled. So today I'm sitting here like, Lord, where do I go from here? Is because I'm still, somewhat young, and I still have a work to do. And I know that we're here on this earth. It's not for our will, it's for God's will, for what He wants us to do for Him here. Let me know what you think, and tell me what, please tell me what to do next, because where do I go from here now? I do not know. And I also have my children, so I have to remain strong for them. But funny, last night, I did have a dream that I was in a store, and I was talking to my son, and in the middle of me talking to him, he disappears. And I'm like, oh my God, my son just got raptured and I'm still here. And I'm screaming out, God, take me. Please take me, Jesus, take me. And I woke up, but weirdly, I was still inside of my dream. And as I'm going to tell my mom in the dream, I realized she was no longer with us. So I started to scream out, and then I heard the number 81. So I go, but she didn't pass away at age 81. She only died at 70. But when I woke up, really, I went to 81 in the Hebrew version, and I saw that it meant like powder, or someone that's being brought out of captivity, and that we should be worshiping God that He's delivered us out of captivity, which made me think maybe the Lord wants me to honor pulling my mother out of such a devastating body, because her lungs filled with fluids. She couldn't breathe. Her hip was in excruciating pain. She had MRSA developed all over her body. She was blind in the right eye. She had a stent in her brain. She had all of these different things that were wrong with her. What do you think? Let me know. So I told the Lord immediately, thank you. Thank you for delivering her from that body. But I don't know. If you never experienced, it's like a bittersweet that I know that she's in the presence of the Lord, and also that I don't have her here anymore. And she was my friend. Hi, Annabella. So I don't know what to do. I don't know how to get over this grief. I don't know if I should deal with the rehab about their lack of care. I just truly feel like when you are working a job where you have someone's parents, their loved one in your care. And there's a lot of people that go to rehabilitation after like surgeries. There's young people and all. And I had nonstop issues. My mom sat in her diaper for 2 hours before I was able to get to her and change her, because the nurse kept saying she was coming in. Mind you, I would have been there had the nurse not kept saying that she was coming, she was coming, she was coming. It was just one excuse after another until she saw me, and then she ran in the room and tried to grab bags to change her. And I said, no ma'am, I got it now. So yeah, I called and reported it, but it looked like this was an ongoing issue with this rehab and many more other rehabilitation centers. Like, what can you do about that? But I do know this. My mom messaged me on Instagram, so I have all of those things recorded. I have everything recorded where she went to the rehab, how she kept saying, Ryan, I used the bathroom and I need help changing. And I was like, okay, well, tell the nurse I'll stay on the phone with you. So they never came. So all of those things are recorded, and then I had one situation where one lady came in the evening. She was delivering food trays. My mom let her know that I used the bathroom. So she said, ma'am, it's state regulated that we cannot change anyone. So while we are passing out food trays, well, number one is you're the only person working in this entire rehab. Why is the nurses passing out, food trays and not the dietary aid or the technician? I don't know. I don't know how that works. I may be wrong, but the point is that I called up there and the lady told me that called up there and I said, these ladies are expecting my mom to sit in her feces while she eats dinner. How uncomfortable is that? That is not state regulated. I highly doubt that the state of Florida wants elderly patients. I got elderly patients. They don't want their elderly patients sitting in feces because that will not only, like, it will ignite other issues, staph, MRSA, just UTI infection. So why would they say that? So of course I called up there because I am a caregiver, and I said, you got a nurse's technician back there telling me on the phone that it's a state regulated law that nobody can come and while the food trays are passing out, all the nurses are too busy to change a patient that's been sitting in her diaper for 45 minutes. She said, oh, no, ma'am, I'm going back there right now. So you see what I mean? It's ridiculous. Do I blame this rehab for killing my mom? Oh, yeah, they did. And I guarantee you they just thought it was, oh, she's just going over here and getting some antibiotics to clean off this MRSA because this facility gave it to her. But they don't know. They don't know she passed away. Oh no. This is my mom right here. Me and my sisters. And my father. So it is a shame. So I was with her from here, and I will show you where it ended. Here. That's how she wound up like that. She was on a breathing machine, and the tubes that are going inside of her neck is a dialysis machine that she had to go on dialysis. And they had to put it through her neck because she had so many other tubes on the other side of her neck that was placed in to keep her blood from clotting, because she had 5 surgeries based off of one hip fall. 5 different ones just for one hip surgery. I don't know what it is about hip surgeries. They just send your body into like craziness. It's a terrible situation, but in this picture, this was like the morning before she passed away. I stayed with her from 7 in the morning. For some reason, I didn't feel compelled to leave. I just stayed. Normally, I would have just went home and handled home stuff. Because when she got here, they just said, oh, we're just going to do a couple of treatments and she'll be back downstairs and ready to go. Never did I think she would rapidly decline. And I left the hospital around 5 o'clock. And as soon as I left, I got a call that says, your mom just passed away. So I was completely screaming. I could not process what had just happened, and I just had to call my family members and be like, my mom's not coming home no more, y'all. You're not be able to call her no more, y'all. That's it. You can't call her no more. She's gone. So it was quite devastating. So she was my friend and mom, and I was her caretaker. So yeah, I'm gonna get off. Thank you all for listening. Let me know what you think about this situation, and where should I do after? Like, what do I do to get over this and move to the next phase of my life? And God bless.